Hi everybody, it's Tallara and welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. We just spent our first night in our new home here in the Greenway in the Haifa dorm. It looks like we had a good sleep because look at these rolls. We just woke up with 4-6 rolls. This is literally could not have rolled any better. This is going to be a good day, I think. This is what you get for not sleeping in a cold, empty storage container and actually moving into a little community. So I'm very happy we had a good sleep. Now, we do have an upgrade point, as you can see here, and I'm going to use it to get rid of our negative on Endure. So we no longer have any negatives. Everything is at least neutral, so that's good. And now, the very first thing we're going to do today is speak to Feng. We've been waiting to speak to Feng, and it looks like he's finally arrived here in the Greenway. When you enter the service dock, Feng is already set up, crouched among stacks of equipment. He's leaning over a terminal, bathed in a blue glow. He looks totally at home. Sleeper, what do you think? Turns out not everyone in Havanage is set against me. A couple of my old systems pals managed to ship me some of my old gear. He gestures at the pile of blinking hardware. Nice kit. Feng does a mock bow. Any updates? Feng beckons you over. He has a set of scans of the wastes on his terminal, with heat maps of activity overlaid. A chunk of the derelict rim is blotchy with bright red and orange marks. Does this look like a wasteland to you? Feng shakes his head. There's hundreds of Conway machines out there, all lined up in concealed hangars, and a whole underground facility to support them. Hardin has got a crew out there putting them together. They must have shipped them in piece by piece, through the shipyard, ready for assembly out here. But why? They're planning something. No one needs hundreds of heavy-duty reclamation drones to run this kind of operation. Maybe Hardin masked this whole thing as an effort to clean up the wastes, but there's no way this is about pulling scrap off the eye. Feng looks worried. And why is Conway in the mix? I bet no one in Havanage knows another corporation is setting up on the station. They aren't stupid either. These scans are the best info I can get. The wastes are cut off from the eye's cloud of networks, and the Greenway's a total dark zone. No data can come in or out. So you're saying we can't hack them? We can't from here, he turns and winks. That's why I'm going to pay them a visit. How? You forget, Havanage come in and out of there all cycle. I should be able to get in, as long as no one I know sees me. He grimaces playfully. But I need you on the outside, to help disable security systems and cut me a pathway through. There's no cloud access, but if I can get inside, I can open up nodes in their network and we can work in tandem. It's a massive facility, buried deep down there. Miles of corridor and ventways wrapped around cargo bays and hangars, so it'll take more than a few cycles to work through it. But as long as you can keep them off my back, I know I can rip what we need out of there. He pulls a handful of ripper worms from his pocket and hands them to you. These are the last of my little helpers I managed to salvage, so make them count. I modified them slightly. This time they'll feed their data threads back into the system that they're tunneling into, creating a nasty little feedback loop. We run it just like we did with the agents. Hack the nodes I ping to locate the ports for the security system, then slot the worms in those systems and let them go to town. He points to a fuzzy silhouette of the buried facility on the terminal. Here's the entryway. This is where you can get access and slot the first worm. That'll fry their perimeter systems and get me past the first cordon. What I need from you is to keep your eyes on the facility after you kick things off. You see me pop up on a security system, a server bank, you need to break in and slot a ripper to disable it as soon as you can. What if I can't do that, though? Feng gives you a hard look. You miss a system, you wait too long, they're gonna find me. Simple as that. He claps you on the shoulder. I need you focused on this one, so I'm gonna let you fire the starting gun. I won't go until you slot that first worm. I'll leave a tracker running on the terminal here, so come back here if you want to see my progress. He affectionately pats the top of the screen. This sounds really risky, Feng. Are you sure about this? Risky? This is audacious at least. Wouldn't be worth it if it wasn't. Feng gets up. It's all in place. You just need to make your own preparations, then slot that worm. He stretches. Just don't wait too long. I'm getting bored of all this sneaking around. Once I'm inside, I'll get the proof we need to end this whole thing, no matter what. He crouches to check the terminal. We can't take longer than 6 cycles on this thing. Remember that. He stands up. Oh, and one last thing. He lowers his voice. If I get caught, or you can't reach me, or we run out of time, there's one thing I need you to do. What? You take whatever I've managed to pull at that point, all that data, and you slot that stuff straight into the relay I've set up here. He points to a pile of servers and terminals, hooked into the dock with cables as thick as your arm. I repurposed the dock's SOS broadcast system to beam out whatever you put in it. Anyone with a terminal, a slate, or a server on the eye will see it. That means Havanaj, Yatagan, the hub, everyone. No matter what, Harden isn't sneaking away this time. He grins. I've got a bit more to do here, but the moment you slot that first worm, I'll make my move. He gives you a parting smile and turns back to the terminal. The nerves hit as you make your way out of the service dock. Time to prepare yourself. Wow, it's all been leading to this, hey? Dang, okay, so we've got a plan for Feng to crack Conway. Feng is located at a Conway facility buried deep in the waste. He needs your help to crack it and expose Harden, and to do so, we just need to slot the first Ripper worm. Now the question is, where am I slotting those? Because as we've already seen... here we go. I was going to say, we can't access the Greenway, but if we go up a little bit, we do have access to the Conway. Seeing as today we've got 4 action dice right here with good rolls ready and waiting, I feel like if there's any day that we're going to give it our full attention, it's today. As you can see, it says slotting this first worm will allow Feng access into the facility, and you'll need to be ready to give this all your attention. And I think I am ready. This seems a good a day as any to help Feng infiltrate. So let's slot in this Ripper worm, a self-guided program that scalps data from closed networks, and get started. The worm tunnels in and starts looping data through the node. The Conway facility opens up to you. Godspeed, Feng. As you slot the worm, a thread jumps up out of the facility. It unspools in front of you, releasing its data like ink and water. Sleeper, Feng's voice crackles through. Moving in. Nodes, then ports. A whir of interference. Slot the worms. Timer starts now. Stay safe. The thread dissipates. You are on your own now. Okay, so next up, we've got Consec F1. This node is linked to the outer security layer. Feng must be struggling to get through. Oh, I didn't realize we were going to have to do a bunch of hacking. If this is the case, my group of 6s is actually not helpful here. Oh god, okay, we're not going to be able to open this unless I can get a 3 or a 2. I guess I'm going to have to re-roll my dice. I'm loath to do so when I have such a good hand. I really thought having a bunch of 6s on hand would be helpful to us today, but apparently not. All right. We got a 2. There we go. Perfect. So we hacked that, which allows us access to Consec Port F. The first layer of security, a ring of doors around the central facility. Time to open them up. Let's get a Ripper worm in there. The Ripper worm creates its feedback loop, overloading the security system. Okay, so then we've got 2 more Consecs here. This one needs a 5 or a 3. And that one needs a 4 or a 2, neither of which I can actually do anything with today. Okay, so I guess we don't have to do it all today. A timer on the terminal shows how many cycles you have left to get the data you need. Okay, and we've got him 1/3 of the way through the facility. So I guess we can't do anything more today, unfortunately. We're going to have to leave it for now, but we'll make sure that this is a priority on our cycles moving forward. For now, let's see what other stuff we can do here in the Greenway. We haven't actually explored the Greenway yet. Exploring the Greenway is unlike any other place on the eye. Its overgrown chambers defy mapping. We can either walk it or map it. Since we have a 6, I'm going to walk it. The simplest way to explore the Greenway is simply to pick a path and set off into its twisting chambers and passages. This carries obvious risks, but with our 6, we have a 100% chance of a positive outcome, so we'll do that. You find your way into a well-kept pathway between encampments, where carefully planted groves provide fungus and vegetables. Ah, okay. Well, let's do one more walk around the Greenway, and then we should have it fully explored. Nice. Okay. So what does that allow us to do? We got another new drive. Oh my goodness, this is getting crazy. We can grow mushrooms now. We just unlocked a place called the Aviary. And this says the aviary would be the perfect place to grow mushrooms with some work, that is. We actually unlocked a bunch of places. We've got farm stacks, which are a bunch of vertical farms that we can work on, barter for food, or steal the harvest. We got a mushroom grove where we can forage for fungus or collect spores. Ah, this is where we get the spores and the mushrooms. Okay. And then we've got the aviary. Once a corporate garden for impressing guests with gene-tweaked birds, now this chamber is a mess of overgrowth. You can change that. Cut away the choking vines, stop the rot, and this place could be turned back into a garden of sorts. Okay. Good to know. So this is where we get the mushrooms, which is what I need for one of my quests, and this is where we get the spores, which is something that we need for another one of our quests. So that's all good. I'm glad those options have opened up to us. But seeing as we only have 1 dice remaining for today and it's a 1, I think I'm going to use it on a non-risky endeavor, such as babysitting. Let's go to Lem and Mina's unit. Lem literally just needs 1 more shift in to qualify for the Sidereal Crew Lottery. So if we can watch Mina today, he can go do a shift. Let's get that done. Fortunately, the babysitting didn't go great. Mina's crying when Lem leaves and refuses to talk to me. The hours crawl by, and we're desperate to get out when Lem finally returns. But he was able to work his shift, which gets him closer to a ticket out. She's asleep, whispers Lem, creeping back out of the unit's tiny bedroom, sliding the door shut as he does. You're perched at a thin bar in the main room, the slate in front of you still glowing with Mina and your drawings from a cycle spent together. There's a ring, the only world Mina has known, with a stick figure standing along its edge. The tall one is you. Drink? Asks Lem, producing a worn-looking bottle of Girol from under the bar, its contents glowing amber in the fluorescent light. Sure. Lem nods and glugs a few fingers into a couple of metal tumblers, then sits down with you at the bar. Cheers, he offers, and you clink the metal containers together. You know, we actually have something to celebrate this time around. Lem gives you a sideways look. I made the assembly team on the Sidereal. He grins broadly. Clearly, he has been desperate to tell you all cycle. Amazing, Lem. That's great news. Lem holds up his drink. Couldn't have done it without you keeping an eye on little Meanie back here. Lem shifts a little on his stool. He looks uncomfortable. How's our girl doing, Sleeper? I haven't seen much of her these past cycles. She's doing good. Of course she is. He playfully squeezes your shoulder. She talks about you a lot, you know? Draws you. I'm glad she has a friend that isn't me. His eyes drift to the bedroom door. You okay? He nods. I can't take all the credit for Mina. She isn't actually mine. He gazes into the middle distance. I pulled her off of a refugee shuttle out by one of Ember's moons. The colony was falling apart for decades after Solheim collapsed, surviving on next to nothing. Eventually, some of the residents tried to make for the eye on these decrepit old shuttles. He sloshes the drink around in his tumbler. They had no idea what they were doing. The one Mina was on decompressed halfway here. Everyone spaced. The only reason she made it was someone sealed her in a weapons locker. She was ice cold when I reached her. Purple lips. He shivers. Once I picked her up, I wouldn't let go. The medics treated her with me still clinging to her. He takes a drink. Still not sure why. He reaches over and refills his cup. We weren't exactly anybody's heroes, you understand? We were private military, hired in by Conway to protect their claims in the collapse. But once I got Mina, that was it. I quit. Got us dumped here. You saved her, Lem. I'm gonna sound like an idiot now, but she saved me. That's the truth of it. He looks around the decaying unit, its stained plastic plating and flickering lights. Me? I brought her to this. She was tiny, too small to know what she lost, but I can't stop thinking about it. He rubs his eyes, dark with tiredness. What if our number doesn't come up in the draw, Sleeper? What then? The Sidereal will sail off without a thought, leaving us here. What kind of life is that for her? You'll make it, okay, Lem? Sorry, I know you don't have it any better. He looks at his cup and pushes it away down the bar. This is a celebration, right? Both of us on the team now. Both of us in with a chance. Exactly. Imagine all 3 of us riding the Sidereal horizon out of here to a new world. He looks into his glass for a moment. I think I drank this too fast. Lem stands and starts to clear the glasses into the auto wash. I need some sleep, friend. See you around, my friend. All right, then. He catches your shoulder as you turn to leave. Thank you, Sleeper. I mean it. From both of us. He pats your shoulder and you slip out into the dark of the walkway with thoughts of little Mina in your mind. drive complete. All right, we did get another upgrade point, which is nice. I'm gonna hold that for now, and once we get 2, then we might be able to get a new perk. I mean, one of the best parts about Citizen Sleeper so far has been meeting its eclectic cast of characters. It feels like every character we meet has been really, really cool, but I think so far, Lem and Mina sort of take the cake on my favorite characters that we've met so far in Citizen Sleeper. There's just something so endearing about the both of them. They're both such nice people, and I'm just very happy that we're able to help them out. So, I think that's all we're going to be able to do on this cycle. Let's head back to the commune over in the Greenway, get a nice sleep in our new home in the dorm, and start another cycle. All right. So, first thing we're going to do today is try to help Fang. So, we immediately pop into the cloud and we get to Consec S2, where we need a 4. Both the S-layer nodes need to be extracted before the port will be open. Is there time? Yes, there will be time. Don't worry. I'm going to extract the data right now. Okay, that's 1. And now we need to open this one, which requires either a 5 or a 3. We've got the 3. The inner S-layer security is more complex. One access point won't be enough to locate the port, but don't worry, because I already got the other one, so you're good. Beautiful. Alrighty, so that should allow us to access Consec Port S, where we can install another Ripper Worm. This second layer controls the Conway drones tasked with patrolling the hangars. 2 down, 1 to go. The Ripper Worm fries the drone's network link. Now they can't report anything. Alrighty, Fang is getting closer and closer, so that's good news. If we check in right here, you can see he's 2/3 of the way through the main terminal, and we still got a few days to work, so that's good. I was worried that we had to get all this done in 1 day, but we've got a couple of days. Now, of course, the next layer has 3 things that we need to access, and oh wow, it's going to require big rolls. 5 or a 6 for that one. A 5 or a 3 for that one. And a 6 or a 4 for that one. We can access this one. Consec X3. 3 nodes to locate the final port, then Fang will be in. Not much time left. Well, that's 1 down. That's all we can do for today, though. 2 to go. Now, we need some money because we're starting to get a little low. We're going to need another bottle of stabilizer. So today, I need to go do something that's going to give us money. Let's cross back across the rim. And now, is there anything we could do in the free spoke for money? Or it's just... yeah, no, it's just exploring it. Okay. And then is there anything we can do in the freight hub for money? Yes. We can be a freight operator. Midline runs automated freight down from the free spoke. They need skilled operators, and you don't have to lift a single crate. You flick through schedules, revising the timetable to squeeze in extra shipments. The automated payout reflects your efforts. We got 21 cryo, which is nice. It's not going to be enough to get any more stabilizer, because that costs 100, but we're getting there. Speaking of stabilizer, it looks like we can actually check in with Sabine today as well. 4 cycles, Sabine said, and here you are, right on time with no sign of them. You wait a while in the apartment, the dread descending as the cycle spins onward. They should be here. Let's check the terminal. You check and double the terminal for messages or recordings. Nothing. Just the pale glow, the silence. Let's check the door. You pace back and forth around the apartment, the rumbling of the station suddenly so present and loud. You go to the door and open it to an empty corridor. You close it again. I guess there's nothing we can do but just keep waiting. You try to settle down to wait. You sit on the bunk and stare out at the tiny room. Where the hell are they? A knock at the door. Let's open it. Uh-oh, that's not who I was expecting to see. A figure stands in the door, and immediately you know it is not Sabine. They are taller, sharper, and something in their face glints in the half-light. A dark shape, like a stubby baton, hangs loosely from her hand. Our local sleeper. Good to finally meet you. She steps into the apartment, glancing around with sharp eyes. What, may I ask, are you doing here? She fixes you with a steady, unwavering stare. I'm waiting for a friend. Of course, a mutual friend of ours, the good doctor. She walks past you into the apartment, glancing around. We set them up here, you know. This place is one of ours. She picks up a glass from the dispenser and inspects it. People always seem to forget who put them where they are. She glances at you. And I suppose you're here to help? Something like that. Good, good. She puts the glass down and turns to face you. I love to meet helpers. We need so many, but can find so few with the right skills. She spins the baton in her fingers by her side, her eyes not leaving yours. We have a problem, you and I. It seems our friend has disappeared. Left without even saying goodbye, which means they are in a little trouble now. But it's the kind of trouble that you need help for. So I thought I'd come down here and take a look at their little hidey hole, and here you are. The help. She looks through the detritus on the side. And what help? A sleeper, no less, which I have to admit is a little surprising. It suggests to me that our friend hasn't been very honest with you, either. What do you mean? Well, I'm sorry to report that before we got them set up here, Sabine was working for your owners. Essenarp. You blink hard at the news, unsure how to take it. Rabia looks away, waiting for a response. I mean, I don't think I need to say anything to her. She crosses into the next room and you follow silently. She sits at the terminal and touches her baton to one of the access ports. A spark, then the terminal screen skips, encrypted folders emptying themselves before your eyes. In the flicker of files, you see Essenarp letterheads and code forms, reports laden with medical data, marked with the corporate logo like the sigil of some cult. Rabia steps away from the terminal. Look all you want, some of your files may even be there. The volume of documents is overwhelming, but they seem to be mostly reports on early emulation tests, surveys with sleeper candidates, reams and reams of usage data. If Sabine was an Essenarp employee, why did they help you? Rabia reaches over and places a vial of stabilizer on the desk, breaking your concentration. It shimmers in the screen light, its viscous, clear liquid crystalline within the glass. We will, of course, keep up the supply. We're more than able to dispense important medicines, even without the doctor. You hold it between your fingers, and for a tiny moment, you have the urge to crush this object for the power it has over you. I'll ask Toshiro to make those a little cheaper for you. He'll be running the surgery now. Rabia closes up the briefcase lab and holds it at her side. We have to retrieve our assets, of course, but I'm sure you understand. Rabia turns on her way out. There's no reason for us to be enemies, Sleeper. Come see me. I keep an office nearby. We have good work to do, you and I. Meet me there in a few cycles. She slips out silently into the corridor. You look around the apartment and feel the fear drain out of your body to reveal the tiredness beneath. Okay, so we completed the drive. Sabine said they were going to meet us, and they didn't. So I don't know what's going on there. I actually don't disbelieve Rabia when she says that Sabine used to work for Essenarp, because all along we've wondered what Sabine's backstory was, and I'll never forget, Sabine seemed to recognize us when we walked into their clinic for the first time. Perhaps Sabine was involved with the whole sleeper process. But I mean, they're here now, so clearly they're not anymore. I'm not sure if I can even hold it against them. I also worked for Essenarp at some point, so it's hard to hold that against somebody. Alright, before we move on, we do have 2 upgrade points, and what should we use them on? I think I'm gonna get a +1 here in Engage, because now when we get another point, I can get another perk, which is Obsessive Haggler. All cryo actions are discounted by 20%. I think that'll really, really come in handy. Speaking of coming in handy, it's no longer called Sabine's Clinic, it's called the Yatagan Dispensary, a gang-run drug dispensary. And from here I can now get cryo for cheaper. Or, sorry, get stabilizer for cheaper. Toshiro now runs a dispensary out of the block. He eyes you as you approach. There's no sign of Sabine. And Rabia actually did give us some stabilizer, so that's really awesome. I'm sad about Sabine. Hopefully it won't be the last we see of them. But here's Rabia's office, the Yatagan Lieutenant. A constant flow of people seem to be visiting Rabia's office. You'll need to wait your turn. Looks like we're not going to be able to meet her anytime soon. Alright, as per usual, there's always so much to do around here. The fun never ends. But what does end are these cycles. We are out of actions. Let's head back to our dorm. Tonight we're going to be injecting some stabilizer because, of course, without regular doses of stabilizer, sleeper bodies actively decay. We feel the stabilizer fizzing inside us, our artificial muscles cramping in sequence. And now let's end our cycle. Alright, we need some food. We are very hungry. Where can I get food around here? I can do work assignment. Commune members are expected to turn up for work assignments, and in return their needs will be met. All are treated equally. We'll do that after. First I want to, seeing as we have a bunch of different dice, I want to go check out the consec nodes. So for example, this one needs a 5 or a 3. This one needs a 6 or a 5. Okay. So we can do both of these right now. Here's the 6. Consec X1. And then we can open Consec X2 with the 3. How many nodes are on this layer? You've never seen such tight security before. Well, it doesn't matter because we've broken it. And now let's insert the final Ripper Worm into Consec Port X. The final layer controls surveillance. With this down, Feng should be able to control the facility's cameras. The Ripper Worm chews through camera controls. The moment it does, a thread shoots from the facility. A thread from the facility cuts through the cloud like a hairline crack of light. That's it. The final layer of security broken. Somewhere, buried in the depths of the station, Feng is in control. He is slicing into the camera control circuits and piping out the result. The thread flickers and unravels into an image, a scene. 2 figures in a room, one sat, the other pacing. The pacing figure resolves into Hardin, the unmistakable superior posture, the shock of gray hair. The second figure's features don't seem to resolve. They are vague, unformed. A problem with the data, perhaps? You look closer. Then you see it. The figure is a proxy. Perhaps you should have expected it from Conway, a corporation whose very existence is owed to automation. The proxy is a machine, designed to be piloted by remote connection. Someone elsewhere in the system puppeteering it with their own body, speaking so it may speak. The proxy sits impassively, or the Conway executive that is piloting them does, from the distant safety of some ship or orbital colony, perhaps. We can move forward, there's no doubt, Hardin is saying. The reclamation teams are almost ready, and after that I will make the declaration. Nothing has to change. The proxy leans forward, its movements stilted, uneven, as if its body was being refracted through water. But things must change, Hardin. We need further assurances. I've been informed of a breach in one of the closed networks in the low end. You've been careless. Hardin waves the accusation away. We have been stretched. A breach was detected, yes, but no data of value was lost. Our board is concerned, Hardin. A drop in our value would be unwelcome at this time. The proxy leans back, its posture dominant. If the reclamation of AE-1 is contested, then we could be drawn into a compromising legal position. Hardin approaches the proxy. There will be no contest, not from Solheim, who cannot muster a defense, not from Havanaj, who will fall into line below me. He crouches in front of the seated figure, eye to eye. And the people of this station, refugees, gangs, spacers, all either opportunists or degenerates. Havanaj is no longer strong, no longer united. No one here believes in Erland's vision, nor has the strength to enact it. I sat across from him at the negotiating table. He was forceful, eager, weakened by his ideological convictions perhaps, but a great man nonetheless. This place no longer deserves to bear his name. The eye is crippled. It cannot survive. It is a ruin filled with squatters and outlaws. They'll be lucky if it still spins at 100 cycles. Hardin stands. You will move forward with the reclamation, because otherwise you will lose your advantage in the system. Without your advantage, you will lose claims on the remaining palladium. Without the palladium, your factories will go dark. Do I need to continue? 1 moment, comes a response from the proxy, and its head drops to its chest. Hardin steps back and paces once more, awaiting the discussion taking place somewhere in the system. You watch Hardin as he paces, as he considers his future. What goes on within a mind like that? in the mind of a man who would burn all those around him for a path to some imagined golden end. The proxy lifts its head. We are happy to proceed. We will legally claim the station formerly known as Solheim AE1 as salvage within 6 cycles. Havanage is to assist with the transport of the illegal residents to Conway housing and labor facilities. The proxy judders to its feet. Conway will also claim 70% of the raw output of the reclamation process after losses have been accounted for. Hard nods. I accept. The proxy reaches out to shake his hand like a marionette, and then the recording loops. You watch it play out a second time, gripped by a horrified fascination. There is a bluntness to the conversation, to its blatant disregard for humans as anything other than objects. Things to be moved, to be used, to be fed into structures, crushed, and losses accounted for in the cells of tables, the margins of ledgers. You realize now that you are no different than anyone else on his station in the eyes of the people in that room and those like them. Each body here can be recast as a piece of property, a tool, an expense, an acceptable loss. In one moment they can be named a citizen, celebrated, protected, and in another, the very idea of citizenship can be used against them. That is what it means to live in proximity to a system like this. No longer. Not while the eye spins. You gather the recording, pack it into a polygon of purest light, then you drift down into the service dock like a falling leaf and find the relay. It only takes a second to place that polygon of data, that recording, into the relay system Feng prepared, and then you watch as it bursts out a web of threads, heading out into the black, to every networked device on the eye. Let them see what power makes of a man. Wow. So we officially cracked the toughest security system on the eye, and in doing so, Feng was right all along. There was a big plot happening, and now we are able to broadcast that to everyone and hopefully shut it down. My goodness. Alright, by completing that drive, we did get 2 upgrade points so we can get the perk I was talking about, Obsessive Haggler. All cryo actions will now be discounted by 20%, which I'm sure will come in handy. Alrighty, I guess we'll need to wait for Feng to get back out before we can debrief with him. So in the meantime, let's get some food. You're assigned work in the canteen, feeding others. The work is hard, but you enjoy sharing the effort with the other members. It didn't give me as much energy as I was hoping for, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna take the Founder's Ferry back across and go get food at my favorite food stall. Spend, well, it used to be 15 cryo, it's now 12 cryo with our 20% off discount. Get some spiced fungus, and now we are fully energized. Okay, with our remaining actions, I'm going to do 2 things. First, I'm going to do a shift here at the side reel fit up. Perfect. And then I'm going to explore... Wait a minute. Ah, this is where we need to meet Feng. Havanage is in crisis. The building is chaotic. Most of it is in total lockdown. No one will give you a straight answer about Feng or Harden. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out before we can touch base with Feng again. And as I mentioned, the other thing I want to do today is I want to explore the free spoke. So we can scale the spoke. Blistered with precarious elevators and stairways, the spoke can be navigated from the outside, but the climb requires bravery. Luckily, I've got some of that, which allows us to learn more about it. We find our way to a service elevator that doubles as a bar. Patrons sipping drinks as the whole room crawls up the spoke. Interesting. An elevator that doubles as a bar. All right, looks like we have explored enough of the spoke that we've uncovered a new location. This is Paz Import and Export. Ah, interesting. So we can buy... Oh, we can buy a ship mind here. Cool. We can also export matsutake, which is mushrooms, or sell ship mines. Cool. Import and export indeed. Good to have options. And speaking of options, we are all out for today. We are out of actions, but it certainly was a busy day. So let's call it a night at the Haifa dorm.